Mafia queso.
The look I'm giving now is the look that I had that day. So I decided, all right, look, I'll take a look at it. Let's see how this is going. So it's that bowl of cheese with ground beef and Alfredo sauce. So you think that's the worst part, right? You get chips, you serve with chips, kind of way too much of the, like you went to Little League baseball games or whatnot where they have put a lot of the seasoned salt on there, on the chips. Yeah, those are all on the chips. So it's just like, it's a heart, like my heart is having an infarction as I'm reading this thing. And it's topped, get this, topped with Italian salsa. So West Texas is a trip. So you might ask me, so why am I in grad school there? Well, it's kind of the only place I got in. Make it with what you have. So that's sort of the historical aspect. I know, we're running a little bit behind. I'll try to speed up. So choices. I want to talk about choices, and I wanted to talk about the next step. So a couple things that you should think about as far as choices are concerned. There are always these things like practical choices, the mundane, day-to-day sort of things. What am I going to wear today? Am I really going to come to the all-student meeting? Can I stop by Milano? Do I have time to eat? Oh wait, they've got food. What do I want? Do I want this kind of muffin? Do I want water? Do I want grapes? Mundane choices. Then there are the, what was alluded to in the video and was going to be sort of reinforced throughout the day and throughout our time here, are the normative style choices. I'm using philosophical terms because I've got the stage. Thanks. The normative choices. What do I want to do with my life? How can I flourish? How can I help people? The much larger, broad-based choices. Those are the things that are going to help to drive you and push you and inspire you to get to the next step. There's also a couple of other things regarding choices in the next step. You may think to yourself, you may have epistemological concerns. John, I finally got the word right. So you saw, call it epistemology. It's supposed to be you may have these concerns about, how do I even know I have a choice? What choice do I have? You may feel like you're faced against obstacles where there's no sort of out. You're just sort of forced into one position and not another. There's also the phenomenology of choice making. How does it feel to have a choice? If you haven't made a choice in a while, or you feel like you're sort of stuck in some sort of rut or some sort of routine and never got a chance to actually do something, how does it actually feel? Like knowing that you have a choice, knowing what a choice is, and knowing what that feeling is like, should be a feeling of empowerment, should be a feeling of responsibility. It should be a feeling of almost of hope, of you're meeting a challenge head on. There are plenty of choices that I made that I seem to have regretted or worried about. There are plenty of choices that will be made in the future that I might end up regretting. But the most important thing to realize when you're here today, when you're here, no matter how long you're staying, is that you actually have a choice. You have a choice. You may not feel that way. I was in a position where I felt like I had no choices. I was stuck. Go to work. Go home for the family. Do this, do that. Don't take time for school. Just do the stuff. You feel like you get forced or funneled into a position where there's no out. You actually have a choice. With that choice comes responsibility. But this responsibility is not a negative responsibility. Like you're worried about, like sort of the trolley problem in philosophy, where there's a trolley car going down the tracks, and there's someone who's tied to the tracks, like the old school movies. And so you have a choice, and there's a really fat person. I don't know why they use fat here. They use fat. So it's a catch. So you're at a bridge, you see the trolley coming this way, there's someone tied down there. You see a really fat person, like huge, ginormous. So you have the option. What do you do? Do you allow the trolley to end up killing the person? Or do you push, or the 5 people, there are 5 people tied to the track. Or do you push the fat person down on the tracks in order to derail the trolley so you can save 5 people?
Push the fat guy!
It's wrong. It's wrong. I see you up there. You're just like, man, that is so wrong. Trust me, that's not what we all do as well. But you feel like you're in that kind of position where you're in a no-win situation. Something's going to give. Something's going to concede. And either choice you make, it's not going to end up to your liking. Or I guess if you want a less gruesome example, think about the old school robber who comes up and says, your money or your life. It's not like you can actually say, all right, you can just take my life, but just leave my money here. They're going to do one of the two. You actually have a choice. A very big choice. And this responsibility is a positive responsibility. The choices you make now, the choices that you are going to make in the future, are going to have effects that you were able to predict, effects that you were not able to predict. The most important thing is that you have a sense of agency. And your agency is going to carry you to the next step, to the next level, no matter what it is that you're going to do. Medical school, dental school, pharmacy school, graduate school, thanks PGP. I had to give a plug for it, at least. The choices you make are so important, and the responsibility that you have is so great that you should not shirk from this responsibility. You should embrace this responsibility. You have an opportunity